Welcome to the Orpheus training series. This is Matt Navarre. In this lesson, we're going to talk about using ELR, or electronic lab reports. This is part of Orpheus that's been around for a while, but it's lately been updated quite a bit, and the screens have been made much easier to use. So basically, if you start from the main menu, your default tab is going to be this Cases tab, which will allow you to look at the different cases. But you also have an ELR tab, and that allows you to specifically click on a record. And for example, if I click on this very first one here, this will show me the information coming in from the electronic lab report, which is updated twice a day. So new labs come in 2 times throughout the day. So here I see the information about the patient. I see the address and information about that. I see also the provider and the facility for this patient that comes in from the lab. The second tab in is Search and Link. This shows me the information here in the demographics for the patient, and then over here, if I've done a search, it would show me what that search would be. So generally the first thing that you would do is click this Search for Patient in Orpheus. And what that does is it shows you the best match. So in this particular case, it found a 95% or 95-point quality match, which everything matched perfectly, and you can see the name and the date of birth and the sex are all green because they matched just right. Also, it found an existing case record for this person. So basically, when you get a positive match, there's either going to be a case for the person or there's not. Or for example, maybe it's a case that's out of county that you can't see, and in that case you would see this part of the screen being blank. Furthermore, this will show you other lab reports that are linked to this particular case. So if I take a look at this particular lab, I can see this is Hep B surface antigen, and then right here I actually have a Hep B chronic case. So this is probably just an additional lab for the existing case. So the best scenario is to just click Confirm Link, and what that does is it links this particular lab report to this case record. And then I can see this case record by clicking View Case. A new window will pop up here, and I can see these are the hand-entered labs, and then down here is the lab that just came in from ELR. This pops up as a new window, so when I'm done I just close that window, which I can do by hitting Control W or click the close box in the corner. So and then also, important to note, when I finish that, when I click that Confirm Link button, it shows Done right here. So now I've completed it and I no longer have anything to look for. So I can now go to List, and that will list the records that I actually started with from the main menu. And here they are. So here's my next one down. So this is a Hep C. I can click Search for Patient. And this also finds a really good case, and there's an existing Hep C case. So I'll click. But in this case, though, the sex didn't match because it looks like it was entered incorrectly. So this record says it's female, but, well, I guess it could be. A name like Steve, it could be either one. But anyway, it doesn't match, so it's not quite perfect, but pretty much we see the name is exact and the date of birth is exact. So we've got to figure that this is just a typo. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm this link as well. And that will do that. So then I wanted to show you also what happens if the quality of the search is not very high. Let's see if we can find one like that. Okay, here we go. This one, the quality was pretty low, and it actually found several different possible matches. So down here, we can click on, it says multiple matches found. If we click on these numbers, it'll show us a list of who those people are. We can move this over to the side, and we can decide if any of them are really the person we're looking for. And we can see at a glance that none of them really matches. The last name just doesn't match at all. Neither does the date of birth. So what I would do there is I would click Break the Link, and that unlinks it. And then what we do is we say, well, we know this is a new case, so this is actually a Hep C, and we can just click this Create Case button down here, and that pre-populates this whole information here. Sometimes you'll see the disease not coming up correctly, but we know this is Hep C acute. And so we put that in, we put in the status is confirmed because we have lab confirmation, and then we're going to go ahead and click Create. That will actually do an additional search to make sure that that person is unique, and it will add the lab report. It adds the other information as well. So if this one had provider information, those would be added here as well. In this case, it didn't. If we make a mistake and we link the wrong case, so if in other words we created this Hep C and the person that we added it to was the wrong one, you can go back to that case and click this button here to delete the lab record, and that will remove it, and the ELR will then be relinkable to the correct patient, which is a nice feature. Now the other possibility is you might get an ELR that you simply want to ignore. So let's say that this particular one here we know is actually a negative test or something like that. This looks like it's a real salmonella. Of course, this is all fake data. But if we want to just ignore it because we just don't want to process it, we can click this Ignore Lab. And what that does is it sets the result to ignore, and the little done checkbox here, which is really important, gets checked in the corner. And then we don't find this one again. I wanted to show you one other thing, which is that ELR reports, sometimes you'll actually have a fax that comes across your desk. And so rather than going into the ELR menu tab on the main menu, you might want to just do a search. So for example, if you have a person called William McReath, you could just type in information there, and that will do a search. Now this actually finds a person and also your ELR record that match that. And so here is a lab record that I can click on, and this is a Hep C, and then I can go ahead and process this. This is kind of a useful way. Using this basic search is really useful if you have a piece of paper in front of you from a lab, as opposed to if you just want to process them as a batch by clicking on them here. That's the basics of ELR processing in Orpheus. Thanks for your time.